it's Joy, and today we're watching The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 7, The Clone Conspiracy. I'm so excited to keep going with this show. It's actually really weird thinking about the fact that, like, this only aired a little while ago for everyone, because watching The Clone Wars and then Rebels, and to an extent even The Bad Batch Season 1, I was really behind, whereas now I'm only a little bit behind, so I'm very excited. Let's go.
Camino was our home, and we destroyed it.
Oh, the other clone's gonna...
All those people. I sent a message to Rampart.
The clones are starting to...
chance to tell the Senate the truth.
Oh, he's gonna kill you.
Before I did it myself.
Oh, you're dead. The clones are starting to get their own independence back, and it's gonna kill them.
Please, I need your help. Together we can.
Yep. Please don't say that that's who I think it is. Please. Okay, maybe that isn't who I was afraid it was, unless he's got a new outfit.
There are more pressing matters in the galaxy right now than the costly creation of a new military.
They want that military to oppress everybody.
What about the interests of the clone troopers? Why are they not included within this legislation?
Oh, is that the girl we knew? In the Clone Wars?
The clone given their accelerated aging and should be slated for decommissioning.
Jesus
Droids
Christ.
to simply be shut down. These are soldiers who defended us, defended our worlds.
I didn't.
Is that how we repay them for their service?
At the very frickin' least, you should give them a nice little retirement package.
How can we debate commissioning a new army without a plan in place to care for our current one?
I mean, ask current governments. Veteran Services is hardly a good organisation. Not very funded.
I hear you.
Or do they not get a say in their future?
They didn't have a say in their past, in their current. She's in danger. So hopefully they can't be seen to publicly destroy.
If it doesn't pass.
I'm wondering now, like, was that crosshair at the beginning? Because otherwise, why are we seeing this in the Bad Batch? I'm glad we're seeing this. I love getting this view of the Empire at the beginning and how the senators from before are trying to fight for what they know is right and for what the Republic was supposed to be striving towards. So obviously the Empire is in town now, and the Empire is, you know, obviously covering up its atrocities as all governments do. It's very, very interesting, but I'm wondering, obviously clones are involved, but I am wondering what the Bad Batch's involvement is going to be.
That's why I'm here, to better understand your needs.
I need to stay a trooper.
No.
Can you make that happen?
They haven't
Well,
ever,
no.
you know,
Once
their entire lives have just been raised to be soldiers in the Republic. They didn't get a childhood, they didn't get any kind of freedom, and so to suddenly go from, like, you have no other purpose in life to just, well, what do you want to do? How the fuck are they supposed to know?
Clone has completed the required rotations.
The Republic sold its soul when it agreed to clone troopers.
Talking won't. I'd rather be out there fighting those insurgent groups that keep popping up.
You do need a pension plan or something, my loves. You deserve better than having to fight, though I can so understand why you wouldn't figure that out.
To fight? You spent years fighting for us. Let me fight for you. Tell me how to help, and I will make sure Admiral Rampart's bill meets your needs.
Admiral Rampart can't be trusted.
Why not?
He's lied to you. Check my service record if you don't believe me. CT 0409.
He may not look well, but why do you think?
Be careful.
Oh, I'm worried for her.
It's Slip. I'm in some trouble. I've heard you can help me get out, but you have to hurry. I don't have much time.
Is he calling the Bad Batch?
New military and full pensions for millions of clone troopers.
Well, yes, given what they sacrificed for you.
Then perhaps now is not the time for your recruitment bill.
The future of the clones requires further discussion and planning. We owe them that for their service.
He's not trustworthy.
The storm. that caused the cities of Camino to fall.
I'm worried she's signing her own
How is
death
it
warrant.
that you
She's got to pray that
survived?
being a senator is enough to save her.
I was taking part in a training and must move forward.
Perhaps it is easier for some than others.
Don't tip your hand. And start googling how to kill a senator and make it look like it wasn't murder. Oof.
Senator Organa.
Hello, Ryo. Rampart is skilled at saying all the right things.
Yep,
Especially
delivering
when
on
he
them
doesn't
very
want anyone
differently.
looking deeper.
So I've been hearing.
It's rather convenient, wouldn't you say? How a catastrophic storm destroyed the cloning facilities on Camino.
Just
making
when he
way
wanted
for
them
the
gone.
Empire's new military.
My guards are out searching.
Be careful, Ryo.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be the only one looking for him.
She's definitely not. The only thing that ever gives you hope. I mean, obviously one good thing watching these shows is you know ultimately the Empire, you know, it has a good run, but it will fall.
Not yet.
But it's the good people like Senator Organa, Chuchi, and everyone.
For him. Understood.
Like, it's that Crosshair in like a new, almost Hardman outfit, or is that someone else?
Someone who can make me disappear. Where the Empire can't find me. How did you even find me?
Who wants
you
to try
followed?
to live?
If you
Yes.
can get to me,
Yep.
so can they.
She definitely was followed.
My life is in danger. Yours will be too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go.
Wait!
There's still hopes that the Empire could be saved with democracy.
Down entire cities.
Senator, I must insist we leave. It's
Mhm.
not secure here.
The evidence you want is aboard Rampart's ship.
Oof.
Check the bridge's command log.
Oh, he's about to
Take the
die.
backup to the central system.
Yep. Oh lord. Oh lord. Oh. What a wonderful loyal guard. Who was coming to meet the slip? Shit. Can they help us?
I'll be right behind you.
No, you won't, you brave, brave guard. I almost feel like this person is missing too much for it to be Crosshair. Jesus Christ. Is this the person that was here to help?
You all right, Senator?
Hello.
Captain Rex? What?
Fine.
He's not a trooper. Not sure what he is, but I suggest we question him somewhere more
Ooh,
hidden. And I have just the place.
interesting. He was missing too much for it to be Crosshair.
I believe,
Jesus. Yeah, so is that like the chip in his head has been turned up to the max? Or is he just genuinely a zealot? Because if it's a chip, I feel very, very sorry for that man. If it's the zealot thing, that's terrifying. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that was the first episode of this show that didn't really feature any member of the Bad Batch. It reminded me more of the Clone Wars in the sense that like we kind of had episodes like this where you weren't following any of the main cast. You just got to see stuff that was happening elsewhere in the galaxy. I loved it. I'm not complaining about that. I just think it's very, very interesting because this show isn't kind of called The Early Days of the Empire. It's called The Bad Batch. And it's why I was kind of wondering, is that going to be Crosshair shooting at them? Because that would at least tie it in with the Bad Batch. Obviously Rex was in it, there were clones, it wasn't not related, and I love to see this kind of the early days of the Empire, how it's, you can still see that the good senators are still trying to, they still don't quite understand how desperate the situation they're in is and how they still hope democracy could turn the tide and win the day and keep the Empire good. They don't realise that the Empire is just a fascist regime and that they are a mockery of democracy to try and make everyone say, oh look, isn't it nice and democratic over there. I loved seeing Chuchi again. Obviously she was in the Clone Wars. and I loved her in that, and she's often been in the background of Senate shots, and to her to have such a central role, I am terrified that she's made enemies, she's very outspoken in her beliefs, and obviously that is allowed to pass to an extent, because if every single person that criticizes the Empire gets killed, the Empire is going to very clearly be doing that. We know that people like Senator Organa, Mon Mothma are able to kind of criticize the Empire, though I feel like they learn to do it in like that very kind of subtle way, and they're also secretly doing rebellion stuff. Whereas Chuchi is kind of asking questions about top secret things like Camino being destroyed and looking for the rebel that's going to try and expose it. Like, I just think I worry about her because she's very openly going against the Empire. And now that like her guards have been killed, surely there would need to be an investigation into why the Senator's guards were killed. Like, I'm just stressed for her. And like, is the next episode going to continue following this story? Or are we just going to come back to it later? It's just so interesting. I wasn't expecting an episode like this so completely separated from the Bad Batch and their struggles. The sniper was missing a lot of his shots, which just made me think it probably wasn't going to be Crosshair in a fancy new outfit. I'm quite glad it wasn't Crosshair in a fancy new outfit. And definitely, I love the discussion of what happens next to the clones. I think in the episode where we found Rex on the random planet, it was implied that like they did get some kind of like severance package from the Empire, which I guess kind of, you have to do something like that, because if all the clones just died, there would be people in the Empire who wouldn't be too pleased with that. Most of them would be okay with it because they never really cared that the clones were dying for them, or at least they'd be like upset with it, but from a distance. It's very easy to distance yourself from something like that. But this idea for the clones, what a struggle it was. It wasn't like, yes, freedom, we don't have to fight anymore. They were literally bred to fight. Their entire existence was, this is how to be a good soldier. Then they had the freaking chips in their head which activated, and they're only just trying to break through from that. It would be a huge struggle. I mean, in our real world, soldiers who've been on tour, on duty for like a while, struggle with coming back to the real life, but at least they had a real life before, and so it's returning is hard. Just imagining that, but you've never known a real life, and you don't have any kind of life to go back to. You can't go back to your hometown. You've not got a family, a friend, a local bar you liked to visit. Your life has just been fighting and being told what to do and when to do it. It would be a huge struggle. And it's ridiculous for anyone to imply it wouldn't be, but the Empire doesn't care, which is why they're implying it wouldn't be. I do think it's interesting that within like a few years ago, with the start of the Clone Wars, they were like, oh yeah, we don't want to conscript people, we want clones. And now they're like, oh no, we don't want clones, we've got to conscript people. Like, make your mind up, fascists. So I loved seeing this sort of how difficult it was for the clones right now. I think you can probably see a bit of the chip not working as much anymore with the fact that they did it, they destroyed Camino, and it's only after the fact that they're like, why did we do that? That was awful. Definitely, how many atrocities can the Empire be responsible for? And a lot of people can kind of know they're responsible for before we all disagree that everybody knows about the atrocities the Empire is responsible for. We're not quite at that point yet. I think that there will be ordinary people on planets who don't have a clue. They just know the government's changed, and they'll only notice when it becomes more oppressive on them themselves. But people who are in people who are in positions of power within the Empire, they know what they're doing. And even if they don't yet know, they will soon know exactly what the Empire is, and that is something that we're going to have to see where their morals stand. This was a good episode, a very unexpected episode, but I loved it. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.